Intertalk Radio, you're in to all things music.
Welcome to Intersect Radio, where music, faith, and life converge. With your host, Aaron the A-Train Smith.
Oh man, welcome everybody. It's Tuesday and we're on Intersect Radio here at the Intertalk Radio Network. Thank you for joining in today and giving us some of your day, tuning in. And that piece you just heard is my friend, drumming sensation, who's my guest today, Mr. DeCarlos, Hulk Davis. I got him on the other end there. He's over in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, man. How's it going? Everything is going good here. How about yourself?
I'm doing well.
That's good.
I've been down here. I've been down here shedding my stick control all day and feeling pretty good about myself.
Well, that's good. Going back to that music, that was actually a piece. I can't think of the guitar player, but it's the front page. It's the album, and that Dennis Chambers, which everybody knows, it played on that album, and that's the only tune that didn't have a drum track. It was supposed to be like a bass and guitar kind of shed, and I just added the drums to it. So just want to make that clear.
You did?
Yes. And it took a lot of work because there was no click or anything, so it was a lot of sweating going on. I did that track.
Get it out. No click to that?
No click.
So how'd you do it? How many takes?
Oh, man, I would say at least maybe 8, 9. But even still, I didn't get it perfect like I wanted to. But that last take, I said, that's it. I couldn't do no more.
That's it. That's it.
That was it.
But hey, man, that sounded great.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so you're over in Winston. You were born and raised in Winston, right?
Yeah, I was born and raised here at 37 years old, and I'll be 38 in June, so I've been here all my life. So I can walk around, drive around this place with my eyes closed.
Yeah. I went to the School of the Arts there in Winston-Salem at one time. Yeah,
I remember you telling me that. Some great people came out of the School of the Arts. A lot of well-known actresses and musicians and singers have attended that school, and it's back in the cut. You really wouldn't know it's here, but a lot of talented people have came out of there.
Yeah, it's pretty good hangout.
I
don't know how I found that. I was out in California and I needed to come home, but I didn't want to just come home. So my mom helped me research that at the time, and before I knew it, I was in Winston-Salem going, oh my goodness, this is so much.
Now, when I saw you in at NAM, I didn't ask you, where is home?
Durham.
Okay. All right. Cool.
The Bull City, baby.
So that's not that far from me. Yeah, Durham. Okay.
No, it's not. Sweet. No, it's like an hour and 30 minutes, maybe. Yeah.
I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah, and just for the record, I'm a Duke fan, not a Carolina fan. All right. Now that we got that over with.
I almost hung up this phone because I'm a Carolina fan. So this interview is going to be very intense now. But you know what?
What?
I posted up the first time we played Duke this season on my Facebook. I don't care if we never win another game. If we beat
just
Duke,
as long as you
I am
beat
100% satisfied.
That's all my relatives in Durham. They feel the same way. They don't care about
I don't
any
care
of the
if we
rest
don't
of the
win
season.
championship. That's all good. But I get more glory and sensation when we can beat Duke. My day, my night has been made.
You don't care if State beats you. You don't care if Maryland beats you.
Oh,
and
man, I
on and
don't
on
care.
and on. Yeah.
I don't care. We lost when Saturday. We played. Who did we play? Virginia. Was it
Okay.
Virginia? So
I don't know.
Virginia.
I don't keep up with Carolina.
Yeah. Well, I don't expect you to. You guys were sitting at home while we were playing. So.
Well, tell me, who won the ACC championship?
Was it Virginia? Wasn't it?
It was Virginia, huh?
I think so.
Okay. So that was the game.
But, I still didn't feel any kind of way because we had beat Duke. So I was like,
Yeah, I know.
I'm sitting there,
I know.
looking at the game, and I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
Okay, we lost. Okay, boo-hoo. But we beat Duke, and that was enough for me.
We won the Tobacco Road Championship. I got you.
Oh, man. It's all good, though, man. It's all in fun. I tell people I don't really get caught up in the sport. Some people can be too caught up and really start getting emotional and, start wanting to fight. It's really not that serious with me, man. I don't own a team. I just support them, and I like to talk junk every now and then.
Right. Talk a little smack, baby.
That's right.
So, man, tell me, how long you been playing drums?
Oh, man, I've been playing since I was tot. I probably started at around 4 or 5, kind of messing around in church a little bit. And my talent comes from, it comes from God, But my grandmother and my grandfather on my mom's side were talented musicians and singers. And my grandfather, he's pastor, the bishop of the church that I attend. And
Oh, yeah?
yes. And
Even now?
even now, yes.
Cool.
He's 80, I think he's 82. 81. That he's still kicking. I mean, he's still driving. He's still, preaching just like I remember him preaching, back when I was a teenager. And from the stories and from even some of the things that I've heard him play back in his time via records, he was very good. My grandmother, she could sing. Oh my God, that woman can sing up a storm, and she played the piano. And I didn't know until she had passed that she played the drums somewhat.
Really?
I think yes, and she passed in like 2014. So I was 30, 34 when she passed. I'm like, I didn't know that. Say, oh yeah, she played the drums for the choir. So I'm like, okay, so yeah, that's where I got it from. Okay.
Well, I would love to have seen that.
Oh yeah, man, me too. So I grew up in the church, playing in the church, and the church I grew up in, which is my home church now, have birthed some great musicians. A lot of musicians came up out of that church. Even now, we still have, some great musicians. But since I was the youngest, they wouldn't really never let me, play. Of course, I wasn't ready to, as they say, handle, like a service or anything like that. But I would always was anxious to want to play. And the only time I got to play, maybe they'll stick me up, during the weekday when they're lifting offering or something. That's just a 2-minute kind of groove, and I would always cry. I want to play, Go to my grandma, and she got chewed out a couple of times for trying to defend me, and I look at all that now, and I'm like, wow, there's still a lot of musicians that's out there playing, but I think I can say that I'm one of the few, or maybe even a couple, that have really stretched out and kept it going. These guys are still playing, but on a level of, a national level and even international level, I can say say that I'm grateful that I kept it going and I kept reaching for my goals, and I'm still reaching. I haven't stopped, but all that, that whole process, I'm like, God, when He got His hands on you, He got His hands on you.
That's right.
And
Amen to that.
I'm grateful for the teachings that I got under the mentors. Even my grandfather, even now he doesn't say much about the music aspect, but even just the everyday training of just living life as a Christian and just living life, period, that I get and I've gotten from him has really helped me along the way. And I'm, like everybody else, I haven't always done, everything that comes across the pulpit, and I don't think none of us have. But, there's a point in life when you realize, you come across something and you say, well, I remember this message, or I remember this scripture, or I remember, and it comes to you. And at that point, you have a decision to make, either to, continue doing what you're doing, if it's anything good or bad, or, stray away from something that can, ruin your reputation. So,
obedience or disobedience.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So, and we all have been through that stage in our life,
Oh yeah, but we're thankful for grace.
Oh yeah.
The grace of God.
That's right.
Who knows we're imperfect human beings.
That's true.
Tell me, you might start preaching from behind the drum kit soon, man. You keep going like that.
Oh man,
wouldn't that be something?
That would be something. But I look at what is preaching, and all that is just sending a message. And we as Christians don't always have to be behind a platform or pulpit to send off a positive message.
Right.
We are ministers. Even when we leave the church, we just don't. A lot of people don't look at it that way. But when you go outside of the church, really is when real ministry starts.
Right.
I grew up in the church.
Yeah.
So if something was to happen, my grandfather had associate ministers. He have deacons there, But if something was to happen where nobody showed up, I've been in church all my life. I can carry a church service from the start to the end because I've been in it so long. But real ministry starts when the choir has sang, when the preacher has preached, and the benediction has been given, and you leave outside those four walls. People are watching you. They are listening. Right. And that's, to me, that's where the ministry begins. So I don't feel, that God is leading me in that direction. Whatever He has for me, I'll accept it. But even when I play, that is always my prayer. It's not to allow somebody to be wowed by what I do or what I play or whatever, but for somebody to be changed and to actually feel what I'm playing.
Yeah.
And,
we have a saying at our church that church starts on Monday. And that's we leave church, the building, on Sunday, and we go out into the world, and that is our missionary field. As soon as you pass that door, you're in the missionary field. That's when it starts.
That's true.
So
that is true. We come to church to get rejuvenated and get energized, and get equipped for the for the following day and the following week, and that's really what church is all about. What we consider church, it's for the sinners to come in, but it's also for Christians to get revived, and because we deal with a lot of stuff, and for those who are listening, who maybe chimed in on my Facebook Live feed the other day, and being a Christian does not eliminate you from being challenged or being tempted. That's really when it hits you. Is when you confess and you're following Christ. It seems like the devil is really after you. So a lot of times we have to stay prayed up, and we can get slack off. We can slack off, because I had an incident here, and it wasn't anything that was way outrageous, but I allowed the enemy to come in and to almost destroy my family. And you just have to understand that, you're a Christian doesn't mean, and I've been a lot of places. I've been in a lot of states here in the U.S. I've done a lot of gigs, and the temptation is there, and it will always be there. But as a musician, as a Christian, it has to be in your heart to understand, your surroundings and what's going on, the do's and the don'ts. Because it's so easy. I said this, it's so easy to get caught up into likes and people asking for your autographs and all this stuff. So you actually forget how you got there and the ones who helped bring you over. And then before you know it, all the years that it took you to build up what you have is destroyed within seconds.
Right.
So I had to understand. I didn't post blame on nobody else. I didn't, it was your fault I did this. It was your fault. I took full responsibility. I prayed to God. I said, God, if you give me this chance, then I'm going to make this right and do what's right, not just by my family, but by you, because without him, this gift would not be what it is, and we can get too tied up, and I'm pretty sure you can attest to that, because you've played on some major songs across the world. One being popular was a Rolling Stone, and I didn't even know that. I was like, what? So, so you drummers out there listening, this is the guy that played on that track. And but I'm just saying, you've traveled and you know what's out there. The women, the drugs, and people get so tied up. And I was almost there to where I was getting ready to lose my family over the smallest thing. Man. So I'm like, you know what? I'm glad God gave me that eye opener, because there's no male or female. And I say male because women, years ago it used to be a man did this, a man, but now, everybody doing everything and all kind of crazy stuff. So,
all right, man, hold on to that thought. We got to take a break right here. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about that and some other things about your career that I want you to share with the audience. Thank you, folks. We'll be right back.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on InterTalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on InterTalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
welcome to Intersect Radio, where music, faith, and life converge. With your host, Aaron the A-Train Smith.
Oh, yeah, we're back, folks. Intersect Radio with my guest, Mr. DeCarlos Hulk Davis, swinging out there. Hey, man.
Yeah, man. It took me a long time to get that, too. That swing, the whole concept, seriously. When I started playing swing, oh, my gosh.
I understand. I'm working on, I have a Art Blakey presentation that I'm doing on the 30th. And let me tell you, Art Blakey was a bad man. I never realized that before until I started trying to emulate him or play like him. But anyway,
wow.
you're a multi-instrumentalist.
Oh yes.
You play
I don't
organ?
Say that proud. I don't say that proudly, as in like I'm all that, but I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of musicians, I've heard, oh, I envy you guys. I play organ, I play keys, I play bass, I play some guitar. I'm not where I should be on a guitar because it just takes too much work. And the chords that I can hit on guitar, I just play them on the keys.
Yeah, you're right. And plus it hurts your hand. You know?
Yeah. And I have pretty big fingers.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I have pretty big fingers. Try to cramp them up into those little small frets, and but it's all good. I can do a little something if it ever came down to it. It may not be much, but
Yeah, that's cool. So how did you learn how to play all those things? Because you play drums, you're killer.
Yeah,
I haven't heard you play organ yet.
Now, and believe this or not, Aaron. When I first picked back up the drums back in 2010, most people did not even know I could play drums. To this day.
What do you mean you picked it up again? What do you mean you picked it up again? Did you start playing and then stop or something?
I did stop for a while because some things happened in life. Nothing unusual. Going through a divorce. I had to sell all my gear. Oh, man, I lost, like, everything musically that I had, even the drive to really even want to play. So that was back in, like, 2008, 2007. And I picked it back up, and I just started making baby steps. I felt like I had lost it, but everybody else just thought it was perfect. But even now, there's people, churches I've helped out, like, when they call me, it's to play organ or play piano. They don't even know that I play any other instrument.
Really?
So when the drummer is playing and he's kind of slacking, he's looking at me like, I know how to do my job, and I'm thinking like, oh, really? Let me show you. But I kind of stay in my lane and I just do it.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't even say that. I just kind of just roll with it.
Yeah. Move over, boy.
Yeah, right. But I've been blessed, man. I've been blessed. I've just been blessed. I don't take it for granted because I know that these talents is just. I mean, even from a financial standpoint, like I said, you're a professional musician. You've been out there, so you know how the road life is. And some people, they on tour for a minute, then they come off. Like I have, like it's like continuously. Like I never have to worry about financially my gift not providing. Because it is doing that. So I'm just grateful.
Tell me,
man. I'm just.
Do you kick bass too on B3?
Oh, you talking about bass pedals?
Yeah.
Oh man, yes. I couldn't. Man, if you don't play bass pedals, I don't even play organ. I mean, if I have a bass player, then I kind of back off. But
yeah.
I mean, that's the Hammond. The Hammond is my pride and joy.
Oh, that's killer. Yeah.
We have conventions and stuff, and I kind of joined the security team, so I kind of just lay back some, and I have people looking at me, get on the organ. You need to be on the organ. I mean, brothers, mothers in the church, yeah, you need to be on the organ. I'm like, this is a convocation. There are so many other musicians that can play, but I'm just blessed, man, and I'm just, I thank God, like I said, for my gifts that He's blessed me with, and that's just one of them. Playing the organ is my thing. I love that thing.
So tell me, after you started playing again, what was the process of getting to where you are now? Because you got some great chops, man. What did you do?
First thing I did, I had to buy a drum kit.
Of course.
I didn't have nothing. I didn't even have drumsticks. And a friend of mine I talked to, and I told him, hey, man, if you know anybody, and he said, well, I got a PDP. And if you go through some of my older pictures, you'll see me with a purple to black fade, sparkly PDP kit. So I set it up in the house, and I would start, just trying to. The first thing I did, I'm not even going to lie, because, it wasn't back to basics, because I really never lost the basics. But I just started chopping and trying to remember some of the things that, that I was playing, because I was really playing in church. And it wasn't working out. So I joined a band, and the more I played with them, it's like, okay, now some stuff's starting to come back to me. So I was playing more, and then I was practicing. And then that time, the whole Facebook video thing was not even really in play with me anyway. So I didn't really post anything, but I would play and practice at home. And I know my wife probably got tired of me. She never said it, but I'm almost positive she was like, Lord, I wish he just, but she never said anything. She never, and if you go back and look at some of my first videos, you actually see that when I started making videos, I was actually recording in the house. And some of those videos she actually recorded, one standing on a ladder, getting like an overhead shot. So that's always good to have that great support. But I just listening and I went back to watching videos, and it wasn't that I was trying to emulate anybody, but I was trying to incorporate more of what I wanted to do with more of people who was already doing it, all kind of different grooves. And it's no secret, everybody, I get people, you sound like Dennis Chambers. That's because I grew up listening to him. I mean, and I always thought his style of playing, Billy Coleman, Tony Williams, all them guys was like just crazy players,
Yeah.
So
you and Dennis are good friends, aren't you?
We're very good friends. I told somebody, I said, if a man invites you over his house and allows his wife to fix you something to eat, then yes, that's got to be a good friend. And he's a very good friend, man. We went up last week, me and my wife, and him and his wife, they took us out, and oh man, we just had a blast, man. I'm so comfortable now. To some people, probably like, how do you feel? I just feel normal. At first I was like, I can't believe it, but his friendship, we text about every day, and we kind of joke around and telling jokes and stuff. So it's like the friendship is more like a brother, and sometimes even like a father, because he tells me stuff, and I ask him, hey man, what you think about this? And every video I've ever sent him, whether it was when I thought it was good or not, he always say, man, he was killing. And the first time I went up there to see him, visit him, and I saw Mike Stern and Tom Kennedy, that whole crew, they were playing, and he walked around, he was introducing me to them, and he said, now let me tell y'all something, you think I sound like myself. He said, this guy sounds more like me than I sound like myself. And when he said that, my mouth, I mean, I was wow, man, I just couldn't even, I didn't even know what to say. And coming from a guy that's talented, man, that it just, I mean, And hearing stuff like that, it doesn't blow my head up, but it keeps me like wanting to drive to just become a better person, a better drummer, a better
keeps you motivated.
Yes, and that's what my goal is.
Cool.
To do the same, because none of us live forever, and I don't want to be the type of person that dies with gifts and not be able to share.
Right.
I've done clinics, and I've done different things. Well, I haven't even charged people. I just say, you know what? Because I want to give back to the kids, because I work a lot with kids when it comes to music, because I want to see them grow. They are the next generation. If we don't teach them, the only thing they're going to do is video games. My sons, they have a nice little sit-up down here, and they have times where they practice. No video games. I don't even want to hear the TV, And I have to do that because nobody really did that when I was growing up. Had they, no telling where I would be now, had I had that. And I'm not saying that I'm not headed somewhere, because I am. Some great things are happening. But I learned that if I teach them young and get them going, you see all these videos of these kids just doing stuff that some adults can't do.
Right. Right.
Even as a drummer, I mean, I can honestly say that I see a lot of kids playing, and I'm like, what are they putting in this food?
I know.
So I really want to be able to reach out and support kids, support music programs, and things of that nature. So
yeah, it's the age of information. Yeah.
Yes.
So you have that organization, Drummers United, right?
Yes. Yes.
And what do you guys do through Drummers United?
It's been through Drummers United. It's been a while since we did something collectively. We started out as a couple of drummers some years back, and we kind of grew and became 4 of us. And most of us are pretty well known in the community and in schools. We had 2 educators, one Latin drummer, Daniel Rodriguez, who won the 2006 Drum Off, Clyde Frazier, who has been in the Drum Off finals a couple of times. Great guy, great drummer. And Ron Brown, who's an educator, and he's worked with some colleges down in Charlotte area, and I think in South Carolina. So you take all that knowledge that you have between 4 drummers and you put it all into one workshop, and what you have is so much information till you have to leave inspired. And
so give me a rundown of what a seminar might look like.
What a seminar might consist of is each drummer taking between 20 to 25 minutes of their time sharing information. Now, the educators, Clyde and Ron, they took a little more time, which was cool because they were more on the educational side, going down rudiments and showing how to apply them to the drum set. Even Clyde even brought in marching snare, because we had students who were in marching, so he was showing them different routines, not about flipping sticks and all that stuff, but the basics of how to incorporate this, even if you're marching, if you're on a kit, and all this kind of stuff. And Ron, he was an educator, but he was in the hip hop. So you had like a hip hop drummer, which was Ron. Then you had a marching guy, plus more down the gospel field, who was Clyde. Then you had a Latin drummer, who was Daniel, and then you had me, more like a jazz fusion. So you had all these different genres, and we're not just teaching, drums, but we're teaching like morals, things, on how to respect your parents, because we're talking with kids, the things that'll take you a long way. Now I have something extra to add to my panel. Don't get too caught up into, lights, camera, action that you stray away from home and lose everything you got. So all of us have our own like testimony to where we can help people, not just musicians, but people that struggles every day with just little things. And that's what it was about. We've had people that didn't even play instruments to come out, because it was fun. We had live Daniel had his band at one point. I brought my band, so it was just something totally different. Because most clinics you go to, you hear people playing the tracks, and it's like, oh, okay, but it's nothing like playing with a live band. The feel you get is just crazy, and I think you know that. So we just, and we gave away stuff, and our sponsors send us stuff, sticks. I don't know I think we gave away a snare drum at Salmash or something. I think so. When we was at Salmash. And drum heads and all kind of stuff, So it was very inspirational to see people and kids learning, and hopefully something was instilled in them that they can carry on throughout, in life, and it'll help them along the way, in which we are trying to get something set up real soon and possibly bring Brent Easton down. He's another good friend of mine. He's a monster on the kit.
Where is he?
He lives. Brent I think, is in Indiana. He plays for Ricky Dillard.
All right.
So if you ever heard Ricky Dillard and New Generation, which is a gospel group, which is well known, and you hear the drum on there kicking and smacking, that's who that is. He called me, and we just talk and, just share things with each other, man. And that's really what it's about. A lot of musicians these days kind of get caught up into, well, they might take my gig. And I shared that with my drum tech the other day. I said I would never fly to California to do a gig, only to fly back to North Carolina the same day to make $150, $200. That is just so selfish beyond selfishness. I mean, me, I get
spread the
somebody
love,
to fill in.
baby.
Yes, but most people get so tied up. Well, what if they like his plan over my plan? If it's yours, ain't nobody take it. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
Well,
hey, man,
I'm not afraid of people filling in for me.
We're getting ready to take another break, but before we do, I want to say thank you to your sponsors, Pearl Drums, Remo Heads, Turkish Cymbals, Los Calbos, Drumsticks, T&R Products, Humes and Berg.
Yes.
Do you have an Adidas endorsement or something?
No, but I would like to get a Nike endorsement, so if anybody out there listens, seriously, because I only really wear Nike.
Okay, folks, we'll be back with DeCarlos Oak Davis right after these words.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element. Affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on intertalkradio.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
welcome to Intersect Radio, where music, faith, and life converge. With your host, Aaron the A-Train Smith.
Yeah, we're back with my guest, DeCarlos Hulk Davis. That's some fine drumming there, my friend. I was listening to your, I was watching your YouTube video of Heavenly Judgment today. That thing you did outside.
Oh, yeah.
It's killer, man. It's great. Where'd you get that track?
That track actually came from acquaintance of mine, Kaz Rodriguez, who's an awesome drummer, but he's known now for creating drumless tracks to the drumming community, and you can find all those tracks on most of the digital music networks like iTunes and Napster, I think Spotify maybe, and he has some awesome tracks, man. Check them out.
Yeah. You get them on iTunes, huh?
Oh yeah. I think I have just about all his projects. I love supporting people, man. I mean, people that I know, if it's just one song you have, you say, hey, man, I just dropped this song, I will buy it. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, hey, it's about support. That's the way I look at it. So,
what's his name again?
Kaz, Kaz Rodriguez.
Cool.
Yep.
Now, you just joined a new band over in Winston-Salem, right?
I sure did. Brothers Pearl.
Brothers Pearl. I love that name.
Great group of guys.
How did you hook up with them?
Well, I received a message from one of the guitar players over on my artist page asking me if I would be interested in trying out. And he sent me a link to some of the stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, they sound good." So
you do know that you were the only guy to try out, right?
Well, no, because they told me stories. They was like, "We've been looking forever." And here is the drummers. You're a drummer, so I'm gonna leave it at that. And when you have a band that really drives to have a slack drummer, that can really mess it up. So he reached out to me. He said, "Man, we just, we need help." And somebody had recommended me, So I went and did the practice, and they was just kind of just like blown away. Even then, the little, just by that little time I had to listen to the music, and I think it was more, the finesse and being solid, that got me. And they asked me, hey, would you want to do it? And I said, yeah. And ever since then, it's been a great ride. About 3 weeks ago, we was in the studio recording our first single. So hopefully,
what kind of music is it?
Coming out. They're mainly like country pop, some rock. Okay. So it's like the modern day stuff. It's not like that old kind of old time kind of country stuff.
I got you.
These guys have a lot of energy, and it's different, but it's good. And from the response that the fans have been, showing, it was what was needed, So
okay, yeah.
I'm excited. Yep.
They needed somebody to drive the frickin' bus.
Yep. And I don't know if I'm driving, but I'm definitely on board. That's for sure.
Oh, I think you're driving it, my friend. I think you're driving it.
Oh yeah,
that's cool. And you got a solo project you're working on as well, right?
I am, and oh man, it's at times I get so excited, and sometimes I'll be like, oh God, because it's a lot. Being creative, wanting to be different but effective. it's a lot because sometimes I lose thought, and I still, for those who don't know, most people think I'm on tour all the time, but no, I actually work at an assisted living rest home owned by my church.
I didn't know
that. Exactly. So I work as not only as an administrative assistant or assistant director, however you want to call it, but I also work as a med technician. So
cool.
pass medicines and care for the elderly, it's a wonderful gift. But to try to tie all this down with what I'm doing, and still got family, still got band, still, church. So you can imagine how my life goes at times. So
man, you're busy.
The project is, yes, extremely. So the project is going good. Bunny Brunel, who is a famous bass player, lives over in California, he's playing on it. I got some couple of local musicians here. Bob Sanger, with a great friend of mine, and a jazz master on piano. I have a couple of horn players that'll be doing some horns. So it's going to be that kind of project. Won't be like, don't expect all the stuff you see me doing on Facebook or YouTube. I don't want to get people confused. I want them to be able to listen to the music and leave it on, not have to skip all over the CD to find one good song.
Yeah.
But a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to Dennis, and which I mentioned it to him. And he's been so busy traveling with Victor Wooten, and we talked. We actually had a talk for about an hour, and I asked him. I said, "Man, I need to know." I said, because I have a lot of stuff that I got to finish. I asked him, and then people probably waiting, what's the announcement? So here it is. So Dennis is going to be on my project. So look for me and Dennis to do a song together. He's probably going to shred me to pieces, but honestly, I don't care because just to have him on the project that's like beyond, something that I never would have thought would happen. So,
man, that's great.
Yes.
You
so
guys got to duke it out.
Great.
Huh? Are you writing that particular song or what?
Yes. Most of the stuff that is going on the album, I've written. There's a couple of them, well, a few of them, because I'm looking anywhere between 9 to 11 songs. I don't want to give people a five song project. I don't want to do that. So about 11 songs, in which one I would dedicate to John Blackwell, which was a Turkish artist, and I've watched his stuff over the years. And, it's just going to be crazy. That's all I know. Feel good music. Okay. So I'm excited.
How many tunes have you done already?
Right now, I would say down to probably about 5. Bob, the piano player, has a couple that we have kind of talked about and stuff. So, I'm looking for this project to be complete by the end of summer. I don't want to rush, because I just don't want to just throw anything together. I'm spending time and money, and I just don't want to, somebody asked me, well, why don't you record it? I can record drums, but this is something, my first project, I definitely don't want it to be my last. So I'm going to take the steps to make sure that it's done right, that it's done properly, from miking, positioning to everything, So I'll be traveling up to Pennsylvania to the Sugar Tank. A friend of mine named Dan Wienel, he's a great engineer, and he's going to record my drums. So it'll be a 2-day, 8 hours, 16 hours total of recording. Just drums.
So are you gonna take tracks that you've already done and then record the drums to them up there?
Yes, I'm gonna take the tracks. I told my piano player, I said, sometimes we have to create dummy tracks because you've been there. You record it, and then at the end of it, you're like, well, let's add this or let's take away. But if we get the format of it, to the drums, of course I have other tracks laid. Then if we have to go back and change a bass line or change a piano line, it's not going to take away from the drumming aspect because the foundation will already be laid,
Okay.
So,
well, hey, man, before we run out of time, I want you to tell people how they can get in contact with you and all your social media outlets.
Yeah, the best way to get in contact with me is through my website, because that has phone number to my manager, which she's my manager now is my wife. So anybody need to contact me, you can contact me directly on Facebook. Don't ever feel like I'm too busy, because I do respond. But DeCarlosDavisMusic.com. There's I have a gig calendar. I have a contact page. I even have like a fan page if you want to say hello, or you saw me play somewhere, or you can comment on that. But all the information there, social media links are at the top and bottom. So you go to my website and click on Twitter. It'll take you to my Twitter account, Instagram, and Facebook. So everything is there. Even my email, DeCarlosOnDrums@gmail.com. So just reach out to me there, and I really appreciate you, man, for having me on the show. I'll be in your town. I hope you're in town, man, so we can go eat some barbecue, brother.
Hey, when you coming?
I'll be in Nashville. She in the room. April the 5th, and leaving out on April the 7th.
Okay.
I'll be coming in like April the 5th in the evening, and I'll be at the Pearl Factory picking up a new drum kit.
Really? Another one?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What kind you going to get this time?
I'm actually going to get the Decade Maple, which is like that between like intermediate to pro kind. It's all maple to travel with Brothers Pearl. And it'll be, well, I ain't going to tell you what color. I'm going to just start right there. Y'all will see the pictures. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Well, hey, have you had Nashville hot chicken?
Oh, yeah. The last time I was there with my wife, we went to Hattie B's, I believe. But
that's nothing. That's child's play.
Just because I had it one time don't mean I can't have it again. You know,
Hattie B's is child's play. That's preparation for having the real thing.
Man. Because I thought that was the bomb. Now, if you know something better, then, brother, we're going to have to, I'm still dropping a little bit of pounds, so I better help them drop at least another 10, because I know I'm going to gain it back when I come to Nashville.
Well, it might not put on weight, but it's definitely going to burn you up.
Well, hey, I am no stranger to hot food. I love spicy food. Trust me when I tell you. Now, which chicken place?
Yeah, everybody that visits here, I take them for hot chicken at my favorite place. It's called Pepper Fire.
Oh, see, I ain't heard of that one.
Yeah.
They told me about Hattie B's, and it was another one they told me about, but we ended up going to Hattie B's.
Was it Princess? Princess?
I think that was it. Yeah,
Princess is the mother of all hot chicken in Nashville. The original thing. It's Princess has been around, and now you got all these other places. Princess hot chicken here is called revenge food, because Princess, the lady who found that, made hot chicken for her cheating husband.
Oh wow!
And she was gonna get back at him.
Man,
for cheating on her.
So man,
it's deep.
Wow.
It goes way back.
Good. Well, if he didn't eat spicy food, I guarantee you he didn't cheat no more if he did. Man.
Well, hey, man, I am so glad you were on the show, and we had a great. It was great talking to you at NAMM. Man, I had a great time at NAMM.
I did too. I'm looking forward to next year, man.
I am too. I hope the Intertalk Radio people will have me back.
Get something out of it, man. And I sent you the text last night. I got that email from Remo. Like, it was crazy.
I saw that.
I was like, wow. Man, so I'm just grateful, man. I'm just happy.
Yeah, you weren't expecting it, or were you expecting it?
I was expecting it, but not as I wasn't expecting that, because I had, I inquired some months ago and weeks ago, and I just hit him up and asked me, hey, did you get me information? And he said, yeah, but you're going to have to resend it. So I'm thinking like, here we go, another month or two. And he sent me that and said, hey, do you, we want to bring you on and blah, blah. So I said, yeah. So within 2 minutes, I'm getting this email like, welcome to the family. I'm like, oh my, I'm like, wow.
That's killer, man.
Man, right.
That's
so,
killer. Congratulations.
Reno is the king of heads. So
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate
Congratulations.
it, Aaron, man. I really appreciate it.
Man.
Thank you.
I'll be looking forward to your visit here. Keep me in touch, and good luck. Good luck on your projects and all that stuff you got to do with Brother Pearl and all that, man. And it's been a pleasure. Tell your manager, your wife, thank you for giving you the time to be on the show. And we're going to talk real soon, man.
Sure will, man. I look to see you in Nashville, brother.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al DiMeola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. Pitbullaudio.com.